Nostalgia Critic guy, remember it so you don't have to. And welcome to another edition of WTR, aka, Was That Real? This is where we look at TV shows that may be forgotten by some, but remembered by others for just how strange they were. With that said, have you ever wondered what the worst sitcom of all time is? A lot of you are probably getting ideas in your head already, like the Geico Caveman Show or that Rob Schneider comedy. Remember Homeboys in Outer Space? And how about Normal Ohio? The show where John Goodman was gay, and that was the only joke. I don't even get it. If you look at a lot of lists, some of these shows are on there, some of them aren't, but the one that is always guaranteed to be on there somewhere is a little 80s sitcom simply known as Small Wonder.
She's a small wonder, lovely and bright and soft curves.
Was the movie AI too funny for you? Well, this'll fix that right up. It's a sitcom about a father who invents a robotic girl named Vicky. Despite her doing, everything to prove that she's a robotic girl, nobody seems to catch on. They don't even question why she talks like a robot or why she looks like one half of the Shining Girls.
Hi, I'm here to see your mom. And I'm here to see Jamie. You're in luck. You're out of luck. Jamie's spending the weekend with his friend Reggie.
Now, of course, anybody in this situation would think, holy shit, this man has created artificial intelligence and can change the world. What's he gonna do? Keep it secret, of course. Because that's just what people in the 80s did. Got an alien? Keep it a secret. Made a woman? Keep it a secret. Got a child actor? Oh no, you can exploit that all you want, but is he gay? Yep, there's absolutely no reason whatsoever to keep her secret, or really even to have her around. It's only to serve the insanity of the plot. And trust me, there was plenty of that to go around. But that's not to say the nosy neighbors ever didn't notice. It's just, they can never quite catch them at the right moment to prove it. But that, of course, doesn't stop their daughter Harriet, who I swear is just an older version of Pistol, to keep hitting on their son Jamie.
My father got a new job, Harriet. He's gonna make me go. Oh, he can't. We never get married. We've already picked out the dress.
Because hey, who cares if they made the greatest scientific discovery of everything ever known everywhere? Doesn't mean she can't totally ignore it and get some smoochies.
Hi, Jamie. Hi, Harriet.
So, with such a ridiculous and even kind of frightening scenario, you'd think this show would barely even make a season. Now, just to give you an idea here, how many seasons did Veronica Mars have? 3. How many seasons did Firefly have? 1. How many seasons did Small Wonder have? What the fuck? Was this show really so good that we needed at least 4 years of it under our belt? Well, remember, this is at a time when pretty much any family sitcom idea was watched by somebody. But then again, 4 years? How? How can I accept that while still believing in humanity? Well, I have a theory. It's bad, yes, but it does manage to get a few laughs. Hear me out. Let's look at the most obviously funny thing about the whole entire show, its tone. This is drenched in 80s sitcom cheese. Just look at this opening. It's a masterpiece of sap.
She's a small wonder, lovely and bright and soft curves. She's a small wonder, a child unlike other girls.
You get all the jokes based around bad green screens an opening like this would suggest. But with this child-friendly tone comes moments that clearly don't fit in with it. For example, there's an episode where the kids take up smoking. It has all the typical cliches you'd see in most non-smoking episodes, but then it ends on this note.
Remember I told you about Peter Watson?
Oh yeah, that big smart jock who gave you the chewing tobacco.
Well, he got this sore in his mouth. They found out it's cancer.
Oh, no.
Christ.
Oh, Jamie, I'm really sorry.
Boy, I'll never smoke or chew again.
Yeah, enough of that shit. We need to say our finishing line with an applauding audience while somebody shrugs to a freeze frame.
Sorry.
Ha-ha! A child is dying of cancer. Small wonder! And there's other things that clearly wouldn't fly in today's more PC world that just sound really funny coming out of a child-friendly 80s show.
Awesome You said it. So did you 3 weeks ago when Reggie showed you a Playboy magazine?
Yeah, you heard right. Playboy. They didn't make up a name or call it adult books or anything. They named a specific porno magazine you can buy anywhere. Get them started while they're young, I guess? There's also a scene where Vicky starts reading one of the neighbor's romance novels.
Derek took Felicia into his strong, muscled arms and crushed her to his heaving chest. Oh.
That's just weird. The bizarrest is when the parents are deciding whether or not to make love while Vicky is sleeping in the cupboard. Yeah, it's pretty fucking out there.
What's the problem?
It's Vicky. I think she can see us.
Don't be ridiculous. No, she can't.
Yes, she can. Night, honey.
Scenes like this are just so awkward, it's surprisingly hard not really to laugh at them.
Vicky wet the floor? Hey, she hasn't even wet the bed yet. Hi, guys.
How you doing, Vicky?
I haven't even wet the bed yet.
What can you say to that? Somewhere between child-friendly fluff and enjoyably uncomfortable, a joke like that just can't find a home. That's part of what makes it so fascinating, because there's a lot of scenes like that.
Do you like it, Joni? I mean, would you rather have a redhead?
I don't know. Is this adorable or scary as shit? It's one of those rare sitcoms that's just so hard to get a grasp on. Is it smarter than it looks, like Third Rock from the Sun? Or just accidentally getting a laugh, like Full House? Nobody could really figure it out. Whenever you get a painful groaner like this...
With the data pads hooked into a self-organizing systolic array processor.
That makes sense.
You suddenly get a kind of funny moment like this.
Happy anniversary from Jamie and me, and to give this to you.
One of my favorites has got to be when she enters the talent competition. There's some legitimately funny scenes when they're trying to defeat their neighbor's kid in a competition and clearly use her programming to cheat. After this obviously talentless kid performs, Vicky goes up, playing the piano at a slightly unrealistic level. That's funny enough, but then they top it with this. The look on her face sums up the show. What the hell can you even say while looking at it? But that's still not the end. The final topper comes when they find out that the kid with the least talent is the person who won.
We'd like to congratulate Ellen Sue on her victory, and also congratulate her parents, who happen to be the owners of this beautiful shopping mall, and also are the judges.
That's actually kind of legitimately funny. I'm sorry, it's a clever build-up, delivery, and payoff. So yeah, for as corny as it all seemed, there did seem to be a fair amount of effort that was thrown in. For a while. There was a point when even Small Wonder jumped the shark. It was around season 4 when any sense of effort stopped, and they just threw whatever shit came out of their asses. Like there's an episode where Vicky's evil twin, yeah, that dumbass thing, wants to be a star while visiting Hollywood, so she locks her family in a studio set dungeon. Who would put a functioning lock in a studio set dungeon? And how is that the biggest thing that bothers me? But by far, the greatest fail in the show's history comes down to one simple joke. It's when a Russian builds a robotic boy named Gudenov to go up against Vicky in a test of intelligence. When the father discovers this by looking him over, he calls him out on it.
It happens to be a cybernetic engineer.
Hey, Chachnik. You couldn't leave good enough alone.
Have you ever heard a studio audience reject the joke they were given? I mean, that wasn't like laughing politely or not laughing at all, leaving a bit of silence. That was verbal disgust. They usually just dub a laugh track over it or edit it out so it sounds like not that many people were laughing. But no, they left this in for some reason. Like, even they knew this was embarrassing to put out there and they just didn't care.
You couldn't leave good enough alone.
Oh! That was the audience for Small Wonder saying, you know what? We deserve better than this. And seeing how we already set the bar so low for you to begin with, that's saying a lot. Needless to say, this was the last season that ran. And if I was just going by that season, maybe I would have seen why people would call it one of the worst sitcoms ever. But with all the stuff that came before it, I have to say, I don't think it's deserving of that title. It's bad, but it feels like it had fun with how bad it was. When I think of the worst shows ever, I think of ones that are boring or insulting or could have been so much more. This one started off so clearly with nowhere to go that, by its own low standards, it kind of acquitted itself. I can't say it's a graveyard of humor and creativity, it's a little too weird for that. It just stood out too much to be placed in that category. It wasn't mean or selfish either, they even pushed some good organizations like the Ronald McDonald House. I mean, clearly its heart was always in the right place. Maybe that's why people still remember it. It stands out because you can't figure out where it's supposed to be placed. It's clearly not smart, but it's not totally stupid either. It's not for adults, but it's not always for kids. It's not funny the way it should be, but that doesn't mean it's not necessarily funny. It's a strange concoction that seems to have no real label. It's confused on what it is just as much as we're confused on what it is, but that's just what makes it all the more fascinating. It's one of the most awkward sitcoms because you just don't know how to react to it or how aware the creators are. And that can make for entertainment that's hard to classify, but nevertheless, entertainment. One that'll delight your funny bone and haunt your nightmares for many years to come. I'm the Nostalgia Critic, and sleep well.